Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, we can create Spring Boot first application. We will use Spring Initializer website to create Spring Boot application. Here, start.spring.io is the URL to open Spring Initializer. Here I am choosing Maven as a build tool, choosing Java as the programming language. It is providing default version that is 3.5.7. The remaining versions also available, but they are still under snapshot. We are choosing stable version that is 3.5.7. We have project metadata. We can provide group ID. Here I am giving group ID as com.code by Swami. Artifact ID means project name 01 Spring Boot first application. And we can provide the description demo project for Spring Boot first application. And we can provide package name. Here I am giving com.code by Swami. And packaging type jar. I am selecting jar. For standalone applications, we will use jar. If you want to work with web application, we can use var. But in the Spring Boot, web application is also deployed in the form of jar file. Because Spring application execution will begin from main method. I am choosing configuration as properties, application properties. You can choose YAML file also, no issues. I am choosing properties. And using Java version 17. And here we can add required dependencies. Click on add dependencies. Here I am choosing Spring Web. By using Spring Web dependency, we can build web and REST applications using Spring MVC. It will provide Apache Tomcat as the embedded server. Click on the dependency. So we have these options, generate and explore. See, I'm clicking on explore. Here we can see the project architecture and pom.xml file also created. In the pom.xml file, we have parent starter with a specific version. And here we have dependencies also. That is Spring Web dependency. This is the test dependency. And here src, main, Java. And here application is there. This is the class. This is the start class. Spring application execution will start from this class. And under resources, application properties file is there. Here we can provide configuration properties. If we want to connect with the database, we can provide database configuration properties. We can declare properties in the form of key value pairs. And the test class is also available. A test class also created. We will use this test class to perform unit testing. Okay, now let's download this project. Click on download. Here zip file got downloaded. Then extract the zip file. I'm extracting here. Go inside this application. This is the pom.xml file is available here. Here we can copy the path up to pom.xml file. Copy this. Go to STSID and import this project. Click on file. Here the import section is available here. Here we can choose Maven. Choose existing Maven projects. Click next. Paste that copied path. Click on browse. Here identified pom.xml file. Click on finish. In this way we can create Spring Boot application using Spring Initializer. Open the project. src main Java. We have application. This is the start class. src main resources. We have application.properties file. And we have test class. And open pom.xml file. And these are the dependencies are available. This is one way to create Spring Boot application using Spring Initializer. We can also create the Spring Boot application using IDE. That is file, new, Spring Boot starter project. Click on this option. This is new Spring starter project. Using this service URL, we can create Spring Boot application directly in the IDE. Here we can provide name of the application 02 Spring Boot first application. Here I am choosing Maven as the build tool. Selecting package type is jar. I'm choosing Java version 17 and language is Java programming language. Here we can provide group ID com.code by Swami. Artifact ID nothing but project name. We can provide description also. Demo project for Spring Boot first application. And I'm giving package as com.code by Swami. And click on next. See, by default, Spring Boot using this version, that is 3.5.7. And here we can select the required dependencies. Here I'm using Spring Web to develop web and REST applications using Spring MVC. Here click on Spring Web, selected Spring Web, click on next, finish. Now the project is getting created. Open Spring Boot application, open pom.xml file. See, this is parent starter and with specified version, and here we used Java 17. This is Spring Web dependency. By using this starter we can develop web and RESTful applications. This starter is used for unit testing purpose. Go inside src main resources. Here we have one file, that is application properties. Here we can provide the configuration properties in the form of key value pairs like this, and go inside src main java. This is the main package. Open the class. This is the start class of Spring Boot application. Let me create the controller package over here. Package controller. Inside this controller package I am creating one class, that is welcome controller. This is normal Java class. I want to create one REST API. For that I am using @REST controller annotation on top of class. I am using REST controller annotation. Go inside that annotation, control, click. This REST controller annotation is the combination of controller and response body annotations. Let me implement one method, public string welcome. Here I am returning the string message, that is welcome to building Spring Boot first application. Here I implemented one method. Here I am returning one string message. On top of this method I am using @getMapping annotation. This annotation will handle HTTP GET requests. I am providing one path /welcome. Here I am ready with welcome controller. Okay, let's start the application and make the HTTP request to access this message from the browser. Close this, right click on the application, run as Spring Boot application. This is the Spring banner. Now the application is up and running, and Tomcat server started, and it is running on the port number 8080. Let's go to browser. Here we can make HTTP request, that is http://localhost:. The port number is 8080/welcome. Hit enter. See, this is welcome to Spring Boot first application. Like this we can create Spring Boot applications.